Alright, it's live. Alrighty, we're in Champion Select, boys. Welcome to True Minded Gaming. Today, we have for you a very special match. We have Team Galaxy eSports versus TMG NovaCore. I am Great Panda, and today I am joined by my co-caster Dreadso. What's up, my man?
Alright, I'm good. How's everyone?
I'm doing great, dude. And I cannot wait to see how both of these teams are able to fight each other.
Alright, so far, we've got a ban with Ari.
Now Ari's a especially strong champion. She's not. She's one of those champions where she's never really in meta, but she's never really out of meta as well. And there is the first glitch of the game. What would true-minded gaming be without glitches? Who knows? Looks like one of the top laners actually lagged out, so we'll be right back in just a second. Alrighty, well after a short delay, we are back again. This is TMG NovaCore versus Team Galaxy eSports. What's up, man? Welcome back.
Alright, just a little rough start. We're now going back into the bans.
And immediately we have the Ari ban and the Azir ban. Now we talked a little about the Ari ban, but let's talk a little bit about the Azir ban.
Both have great mobility and are able to get through the lines and control a fight in different ways. Whereas the charm on Ari can pull someone to the team and they can focus them down or keep a tank off of someone. Whereas the Azir can have his soldiers bounce up anywhere.
Exactly, and now we see the Trundle and Maokai ban coming out. Now Maokai's been an increasingly picked and banned champion.
Well, he has a great engage and time fight potential. Whereas how they slow down his ult with a higher cooldown time makes it not as big as he used to be, as in picking up. But if you have a good player with him, it can destroy teams.
Exactly, and the Gragas and Vlad ban as well. Gragas, another champion that's been highly contested, as well as Vlad. Vlad is a very good champion, especially after that rework that came to him.
Now, a lot of these bans are at top lane, it looks like, with 2 for mid, 3 for top, and then 1 jungler.
Looks like blue team's going to first pick that Lucian. Lucian, a very strong champion, even after his nerfs a few patches back. And Zac going to be picked up on the other side. Let's see what they try to pick up for Astrid here. Looks like it's going to be the Echo lock-in. And Anivia being hovered. Anivia, an especially strong champion, and Volibear as well. Anivia and Volibear both can be locked in. Now, both of these champions have extremely just been dominating their respective lanes.
Alright, with that Zed against that Nivea, he's able to get around that wall. So that's one of her moves that are going to be cancelled out in the fight.
And it looks like he may actually be hovering that cleanse, as well as the Yasuo is just going to be locked in as well. And Alistar going to be locked in as well. Now Yasuo not actually going to be taking cleanse. He's going to go that ignite. He does have that wind wall to be able to block an Anivia's stun. We'll just have to see how that plays out. Teemo actually going to be hovered. Now, Teemo's a champion. No, I'm just kidding. Looks like Sivir is actually going to be considered here. There we go. And lock in. And both teams switching, getting their respective picks. Now, let's take a little bit of time to talk about this Triforce. Because Triforce is an item that we've been increasingly seeing, especially after its rework. And on some of these champions in here, Triforce is going to make a very useful pick.
I mean, with the 20% cooldown that it now has, it's kind of keeping up with the new mage updates. Whereas everything has CDR there. And attack damage, not so much in having 20 right off the bat from one item.
Exactly, and on Yasuo, it's a very good pick because even though they took away the crit that it gives, Yasuo is one of those champions where you only need a few crit items in order to get 100%. So them taking away a little bit of crit on it doesn't even matter.
I mean, if he has crit just in his runes, most likely it's going to be that 10, which equates to 20. When you get your IE, that's another 40 right there. So you're looking at 60%.
Exactly.
And then you just one Zeal item and he's pretty much set.
Exactly. And no Yasuo really needs 100% crit. Does anyone really need 100% crit?
Hey, if you're able to get it. more power to you.
We go. Now let's talk about this Jin pick. Now, Jin's a champion we haven't really been seeing a lot of. How do you think this is going to play out?
Now, the Jin is able to help control a fight with the hard CC that Alistair has, plus with the stun from Jin, they can really control who they're fighting, keeping that Lucian locked down, taking those 4 shots, and he could be killed instantly, especially if the jungle's coming to play.
Exactly, and an aspect of Jin that we don't really talk about much is the fact that his ulti can actually start off a fight. It's not just this long-range picking tool that most people make it out to be. It actually can start off a fight because it has that slow, it has that damage. Even though it's not that percentage damage, it's still damage that can help initiate a fight.
They'll have to watch their health really well because of the range of his ult as well. Because if you drop below 40% and you're not paying attention, next thing you know, you're taking all 4 shots from Jin.
Exactly. Now what I'm seeing from TMG NovaCore here is a very strong team fight oriented team, where we have the Echo able to get that AoE stun, the Zac going to be providing those knockups, Alistar going to be providing the knockups as well, and with a Yasuo on their team, it's just going to be nasty.
They have to watch for when they actually try to go for tower or push their lanes, because of the range that Zac brings by jumping in is tremendous.
Exactly, and it seems like they're going to be able to protect this Jin very well with that amount of CC that they have, the knockups and knockbacks that Alistar also has.
They also have re-engage potential with 3 of their champions, where you have the Alistar ult, you have Zac's passives, or when he dies he can come back and maybe be able to pull off something and not be killed directly, and then you also have Echo's ult.
Exactly. Well, that's a good point to leave off on. The delay ticks down to 0 and we will be on the rift in just a few seconds.
Now let's talk about the other team real quick while we're loading in here, because they have a lot of potential of capitalizing on a misplay or being in the wrong position.
Exactly. They do have that extremely well-oriented pick comp with the Lee Sin and the Volibear able to just get maybe a carry into their entire team. They also have that Thresh with the hook, and the Anivia also has that stun, so they're looking to pick this game. They're looking to find someone away from their team, and they're looking to kill that person.
And plus with that Lucian, being able to melt them down real quick with all his abilities, like a full rotation, and he could take someone out. Now, we'll see if he builds crit or if he's going to go in more Korean build with that true damage that you get from all that armor pen.
Yeah, and lately I've actually been seeing the Korean build sort of being replaced with the typical build, but still not that much. There is an equal chance of him going either way.
I mean, it all depends on the team you're facing.
Exactly. And he may be going that Korean build because TMG NovaCore does have this very tanky frontline and damage dealing team comp. They have the Zac, the Alistar, and the Echo. All 3 of these are those extremely tanky, hard to kill, hard to find out champions that are going to be very hard to deal with. And with Lucian's ability to just melt down a team or a tank with his ulti, it's going to be a valuable asset for Team Galaxy eSports.
Lucian's going to have to debate which one he wants to do, though, because they also have the Yasuo on the other team. So the Yasuo can get through his team in a team fight and take him out quickly. Now, if he went the crit build, he'll be able to put that damage quickly as possible with his double shots for after each move, or with his passive. But by doing that crit build, that's not going to have as much power on Alistair or the Zac.
This is very true. And let's take a moment to talk about this Anivia pick as well. Anivia is a champion who we've been seeing, picked very often, and she's being picked more and more as people realize how strong she's becoming, or has become.
Now, if you're able to zone her out, her ult takes time to put down and have it grow. Or if you are able to skirt her and then waste her mana by her trying to get her to predict where you're going, it works both ways. I mean, it's a fake out, so her abilities do have long cooldowns as well.
Exactly, and it has been said that Anivia Egg is the best peel in the world. Anivia Egg is usually focused down, and it may be the downfall to some teams here.
Unlike Zac, where you can teleport onto one of his slime blobs to keep him alive, Anivia is just left out in the open. Now let's see, the game's about to start as we're almost all ready.
Alright, are we loaded on?
Not yet. Just another moment.
Procasting. Cast the percentages, quick. Alright, there we go. We are on the Rift, boys. Again, TMG NovaCore versus Team Galaxy eSports. This is going to be quite a game. Now let's see. Normally we don't see many lane rotations in True-Minded Gaming, so it would be interesting to see if we actually could have some. But looks like we're just going to head for standard lanes here. Both teams rushing. Pings being put out. Trying to see if they can find each other here. Volibear sees that Echo, but Echo doesn't decide to ward. He's going to be pinged out. No one really up there to help him, though. They've decided to put all of their resources to bot side, and they're going to walk in. They find red team dancing. 2 wards being put down. A little bit of a waste, but shouldn't be too terrible. And it looks like Echo is going to actually go in and ward the blue side blue buff, actually. He is spotted out, though, because Volibear has been standing in there the entire time, unbeknownst to the Echo, actually.
But it all matters if he actually goes in. I mean, it'll just slow him down. Both of them will probably have the back, and then re-enter lane.
Now that was
They might just
actually...
want to wait out.
This was actually interesting, because Zac is taking his blue buff first, decides to not take the Grump. That's something we haven't seen that much of. I wonder if that was a conscious choice, or they just decided to do that. Both teams just headed for standard lanes, just farming it up. Jin getting that 4th auto, but doesn't decide to use it on... Actually, he's just going to hold it. Going to go in, tries to get that down, but has to use it on a minion eventually. Now, Jin's 4th auto is usually something that's very... I'm trying to find the word for it, but people don't expect it to do as much damage as it actually does. See both Echo and Volibear trying to get these trades up in top. They're very trade-heavy champions. Echo has that damage of his 3 stacks, and Volibear has that damage of his bite. And he has the very he's very tanky with that passive that he's able to bring out.
We have Lee Sin taking the scuttle in the jungle.
Okay. See, both teams trying to get these trades down, trying to just trade out. They're not really committing full-heartedly, but Yasuo actually getting a lot of damage onto the Anivia. Lee Sin comes in, but isn't able to find anything there.
Came in, gave her some breathing room, you know. Not one Yasuo too close.
It's true. But actually, he was because he decided to gank there. He was actually taken away, and the Yasuo ignite is going to go down. Will he be able to get this egg in time? I don't think so. It is coming down. The last auto attack. That's going to be first blood for Yasuo. 4 minutes into the game. Wow, the Lee Sin gank did not mean anything there. See, but we have some aggression in the top lane. That Volibear tankiness coming out. Tries to get the kill, but isn't able to. But the passive is popped, so the jungler is going to come up. That's going to be Zach winding
Zach's
it up.
coming into gank.
Tries to find it. The red buff is ticking, but they're going to decide not to dive that.
Lee Sin's coming in to close it up.
Let's see. Now they're both staying up top. Let's see this happen. Actually, Zach just gonna decide to back there. Lee Sin's still up there though, so they could be trying to set something up here.
Bot lane's down here, warden up. Maybe making room to try to get a play for Dragon.
Now let's see what this is the Fire Dragon. Now, why would Fire Dragon be a better pick for whatever side? What side do you think it'd be better for?
Well, that's just extra damage. I mean, right now, early on, you'd like that percentage to be added to it. And then if by chance they get more Infernal Dragons, that's going to multiply even higher.
And was it said that the fire? I think the Fire Dragon is statistically the best one. Maybe, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Fire Dragon that is. Oh, the Alistar is gonna flash in. Zach is down here. Lucian gets exhausted out. The Zach tries to jump on him, but Lucian able to take the Thresh Lantern out. No summoners really blown except for Alistar, who had to throw his flash and his exhaust down. Not really worth it, in my opinion. Zach's, however, going to stay down here. That bush is pink warded, so he knows it's not warded out. Thresh, unaware to this, tries to get the hook, but it doesn't land.
For another play.
He might have to flash out of here. Gets knocked back, doesn't even flash. That's going to be Jin picking up the kill onto Thresh.
And then coming in, both teleports being used.
The double teleports, here we go. This is going to be a fight. Volibear on the backlines does get the Jin, and Echo able to slay the Lucian, but Lee Sin is in a very bad position here. He's going to ward hop over the wall, but Alistar is there. Echo flashes over the wall. Meanwhile, Zach trying to focus down this Volibear. Jumps on him. Able to get it. The passive procs, and Yasuo is down here to try and stop this kill. One more auto will secure the kill for Yasuo on the Volibear, and meanwhile, Echo gets the kill onto Lee Sin as well.
Now they're not trying to push the right lane and take that tower with that wave of minions. Maybe they'll go for Dragon right now.
Right now. So that was a 4-for-1 in the favor of red team. Let's talk about their power to snowball right now, because I think that TMG has more of a power to snowball than Team Galaxy does. What about you?
Well, right now
Actually,
they have that
a little bit of
early
aggression there.
3,000 gold lead.
That's going to be Lee Sin taking down the Yasuo again because of that Anivia egg. He thought he could take it, but he was actually under turret, so did take a few turret shots. Actually dies there. A little bit of aggression up top. Volibear's passive is down, so that could spell defeat for him, possibly, and a victory for Echo. Zac is up there. He's going to jump in. They're going to try and deal some damage to this. Zac tanking turret. They're forced to back out.
Now bot lane's Rivers early warded up. Lee Sin comes in.
Alistar force ulti, gets thresh hooked, flayed backwards, and so much damage is being put onto this Alistar. Meanwhile, Jhin is taking down the Lee Sin.
Now that was just a trade for a 1-1. Whereas both groups, it was more in favor of.
Let's see now. Yasuo going in the Zac ulti, or the Zac jump is there, I'm sorry, and she does not have egg to get out of this fight. That's going to be another kill going down under this Yasuo. And he's already finished his first item at this point. He already has that fan answer. Meanwhile, Anivia is stuck trying to buy that Roa. And she still doesn't have it.
She's planning for that late game build. As she has the tier as well. So that she can spam those out.
Exactly, and let's take a look at the kills distribution on either side. We have Echo with 2 kills. He's a very snowbally champion. Once he starts to get those early kills, there's nothing you can really do to stop him. We have Yasuo with 3 kills and 2 kills onto the Jhin. Now on Galaxy's side, we have 1 on the Volibear, 1 on the Lee Sin, and 1 on the Lucian. And none on this Anivia, who is a champion who needs to snowball. And the gold already, 10 minutes into the game, or 11, I'm sorry, is 3k ahead in TMG NovaCore's favor. It's looking to be a very rough game for Team Galaxy eSports at this point.
But they're definitely not out of it. If they just try to get out of this laning phase and try to farm as much as possible to match up, then they can get the items they need. Especially these late game builds, like on the Anivia.
Yeah, the Anivia is going to be looking to build up that tier, to get her item, and hopefully be doing some damage in the late game.
She'll be able to section up the whole team with her ult, slowing them all down. So if someone oversteps because they have this very deep engage, the team can be separated quite quickly.
Exactly, and we talked about the pick comp earlier. We have the Lee Sin, the Volibear, and the Thresh, and the Anivia. They all have these forms of this instant CC that can absolutely obliterate anyone who's out of position. Gonna see a little bit of aggression top lane, but nothing's really gonna happen. The stun doesn't land, and nothing else is gonna be had other than a little bit of damage. Pink ward gonna be cleared. Zac tries to jump in. The Thresh hook misses, and Zac's gonna ulti onto this Thresh. Meanwhile, the rest of his team is struggling to get in there. The Yasuo ulti off of the Alistar knockup, And the Jin ulti from behind, able to pick up that kill on Lucian. Yasuo also finds the kill onto Thresh and to Lee Sin at the same time. Turning out to be...
Now,
Go ahead.
now, right now, they can either go for Dragon, which it looks like they're doing, and then push that bot turret, open up and free that lane.
Exactly. They'd have to clear out that wave, but it wouldn't be that much trouble for 3 members of TMG NovaCore. They're going to pick up that dragon. Like we said earlier, Fire Dragon is very helpful for any team looking to snowball, looking to get that percent AP and AD. And
It looks like they're just gonna let lane push out.
Zach gonna go in. They're gonna try and get this kill onto Anivia. She does have her egg up, I think. Let's check. She does have her egg up, yes. So they would have had to dive even harder for that, but still being taken very low, even under turret. Now let's look at the CS differentials here. We have Echo at almost 100, Volibear at 70. And with those 2 kills on the Echo, he's looking to snowball this game extremely hard. And even in the other lanes as well, we have Yasuo at 125 while Anivia is at 75. Jin at 110 and Lucian's at 100. So TMG trying to find this early game lead in order to propel them into a late game lead as well.
Now everyone's back at lane.
Wards just being cleared out by the junglers. And we're gonna go back into that little lull in the game where team's just trying to CS, trying to get some more items. Hopefully we get another team fight. It does look like Alistar and Zac are roaming down. Gonna try and find something. The Thresh Lantern is able to save Lucian right now. And more vision being denied by TMG NovaCore at this point. See, the stun does land, but she's not able to do anything about that. Yasuo just trying to push in this lane. And pushing in lane is a very good... Oh, actually, the TP coming down from Volibear. He's going to run through, and the TP is also going to come in from Echo. Looks like they're going to try and engage this, try and get Echo behind him. Does have his ulti available. Thresh is going to be forced to ulti. Lucian ulti also going in. Echo exhausted. And here comes Yasuo. The flash kick from Lee Sin. Able to find something. Jin in the backlines using that ulti. Volibear is going to go down. Soon after, Lee Sin also follows. A double kill for Echo. Now Thresh and Anivia are in a very bad position here. Yasuo able to find the kill on the Thresh. And that's going to be Anivia egg also being taken down, with Lucian being taken down in the background. That's the ace for TMG NovaCore. Only 16 minutes into the game. Now tell me a little bit about that fight. Why was TMG able to absolutely demolish the entirety of Team Galaxy eSports?
They were able to do it like we were talking about with the hard CC, as they were able to jump in, separate the team moments of being able to get closer to that low Jin, and able to separate the other players from that Echo, which gave them the time to move in and bring in the Yasuo and Zac. The Alistairs saved a lot of people by pushing them, controlling their movements and where they're going.
Exactly, and the team fight of TMG was just too strong for Galaxy to deal with. They had that Yasuo ulti, they had all the knockups like you just said. There was way too much going on for Galaxy to even comprehend what was going on.
Now they freed up the map with taking out both towers and bot lane. So now they're able to roam and try to control more.
Exactly, and even after they finished that team fight, they were able to roam through the jungle of Galaxy and place down these wards that are gonna last long and hopefully find some picks for TMG. Ward is gonna be cleared out though. Just gonna try and deny that vision. The ulti from Yasuo gonna come in. Zack's also gonna jump in there, try and get some of the fight. Yasuo takes down Lee Sin under the turret. And this does not look good for Galaxy at this moment. Thresh forced to come up to help the Volibear. Aren't really able to find anything for his troubles, but a little bit of pressure being put up there. Zack jumps over the wall for the fun of it.
Now with taking that mid turret and having bot lane turrets all gone, it gives red team the chance to get this next dragon that's coming in.
Exactly, they've already cleared out, they've already got that gold that they need to get, and the Thresher tries to steal it, but isn't able to. Zack flashes over the wall, gets the ulti onto Thresh. The culling comes out, and Jhin ulti from behind, trying to thread the needle, tries to find that, and the Deathfire touch is actually going to be enough to kill Thresh. 3 shots landed onto him through the team of Galaxy. And the Deathfire touch was able to finally get that kill.
Now that's the second Inferno dragon, which would have been contested.
See, Alistar flashes in. Yasuo able to get the ulti onto Anivia. And they tried to flash over the Anivia wall, but fail flashes, unfortunately. Yasuo still has his knockup. Tries to land it, but doesn't actually land it. So, Lee Sin gets out of there alive. Meanwhile, Echo has just been pushing this top lane, keeping Volibear under the turret. What's that going to mean for him in the late game?
Well, both ways, because he's going for that tank Echo build. He has that Rod of Ages, which over time he's getting more. Up there's team fight.
They're actually going to find the kill on the Volibear. All that pressure being put onto him eventually led to his death, but get back to your point, I'm sorry.
So he's able to just buy time while the stacks on the Rod of Ages go up over time.
Exactly, and pushing the Volibear under turret means he's not going to get as much CS, and therefore he's not going to be able to get as tanky as this Echo. Now again, let's look at the kills and the CS of TMG NovaCore compared to Team Galaxy eSports. Okay, we have Echo 4-0 right now. Okay, like we said before, he's this very snowbally champion who needs kills in the early game in order to snowball, and we're seeing that right now. Okay, we have Yasuo at 7-1 and Jhin at 6-1, while the other two, Zack and Alistar, are both sitting at 13 and 11 assists. That's 13 and 11 out of 18 kills. There's so much more gold different. There's so much gold just pooled into these members of TMG, and it shows in the gold lead. That's roughly a 10k, 11, let's see, 12k gold lead right there.
Now most of that gold's on that Yasuo, who's able to get in there quick.
Sorry about that. Had a little malfunction. But let's see, how did that play out? No members actually being taken down on either side. And Tara's just going to be pressured. Actually, Ping's going down onto Baron right now. Zach's trying to find this. And the rest of TMG is going to collapse down onto it. Meanwhile, Galaxy has no clue that this is actually happening. They have no wards, no vision being put down, and Red Team's going to be able to secure it with ease. NovaCore just looking to push this lead in. They're looking to end clean right now.
Now with that Baron buff, the whole team was able to buy their items that they need, and come back to lane.
Let's look at the items difference as well. We've been looking at the kills and gold lead, but we haven't really looked that much at the items. Echo, let's just compare Echo to Volibear right now. Echo is sitting comfortably on 2 completed items and completed boots. He has the Sunfire Cape, the Rite of Ages, and Volibear only has the completed Sunfire Cape. The gold lead is showing so easily in these builds. Now we're just going to see TMG pressuring down these turrets, trying to find their way in to Galaxy's base. And Nivea trying to use that wave clear to get rid of these minions, but it's not going to be enough. TMG is just diving at this point. That's going to be Lee Sin being taken very low. The Yasuo ult is actually going to get a double kill. Lee Sin and Lucian both going down. Zac finds the kill in the backlines on a Nivea. And they're just looking to brute force their way into this base now. They just dived. They don't even care at this point. Meanwhile, TMG's wave has just been pushing in bot this entire time. They're going to be able to pick up that inhib turret as well. And the inhib's going to fall shortly after Thresh Hook lands, but that's not going to do much when the entire team's on you, bud. That's going to be Zac taking down the Thresh and Jin taking down the Volibear as well. And this looks like it could be good game. Actually, Thresh takes down the Yasuo because he dives in the turret. Oh no! Zac trying to find his kill. He does. Maybe has it passive. It keeps switching. I can't see. He does have his passive up. But that's going to be both Nexus turrets taken down. Echo teleports onto the Zac blob to save him. And that's going to be GG for TMG NovaCore. There we go. Now let's look at that.
Now the level of aggression in that game was both high on both teams. That Team Galaxy was trying to do that teleport at bot repeatedly, but was always met with that echo. And Team NovaCore's team was always around, ready to respond.
Exactly, and you like to talk about this. I've heard you talk about this before, but Team Galaxy didn't change their playstyle throughout the game. They kept thinking that they could win fights and that they could do whatever they wanted to, when in all reality they ended up being 20k gold behind, and they really didn't account for that.
It was that spread out damage with the moves on Team NovaCore.
Exactly. Well, I will remind you that this is a best of 3 match, so we're going to take a short little break. We'll be right back onto the Rift in just a few minutes. See you all a little bit later.
of the future. Creatures of the future.
Alrighty, we're in Champion Selective Game 2 in True Minded Gaming's series TMG NovaCore versus Team Galaxy eSports. Again, I am Great Panda, joined by my co-caster Dreadso. Welcome back, buddy.
Well, good to be back. Now let's see how they'll ban.
Alright, we're going to see that Zac band coming out. Now, that was an extremely well-played Zac last game. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, that Zac was able to disrupt plays with his E, jumping over too far a distance that you can't even plan for it unless you have it warded. But he would be over the bush, over a wall, coming down river, jumping on whoever he could, just to disrupt the plays and mess up the whole team play. And then if they bunched up too much, he would use his ult, and the whole team would just be everywhere.
Exactly, and instantly we're going to see the Maokai, Echo, and Swain bands coming out. Now, we saw Maokai banned last game, so we haven't really seen it being played. Swain, however, is an extremely lane-dominant champion and an extremely strong late-game champion. And that's also going to be Ahri and Yasuo being banned out as well. The Yasuo in response to last game as well.
Galaxy actually has all target bans across the board. The Zac, the Echo, and the Yasuo from last game.
Exactly. It shows that they're kind of fearful of these picks. It's going to be interesting to see how Galaxy, or NovaCore, actually responds to this. Looks like the Gragas is going to be hovered. Now, Gragas is an okay jungler right now. He's been seeing a little bit more play, especially if he goes that AP item instead of that tanky Cinderhulk item.
Now, he's another champion that has that hard CC, especially with his ult and his tackle on his E. He's able to blow the team apart so that they can refocus on whoever's closer or guide the fight away.
Exactly. In last game,
they can also disengage the fight.
There you go. In last game, we saw that extreme team fight coming out from NovaCore. Looks like Gnar and Udyr are actually going to be hovered. Gnar going to be locked in. Aatrox getting hovered. Again, back to the Udyr. Now, Udyr's been seeing a little bit of a rise in popularity since that Triforce buff, which we were talking about. Or Triforce change, because they did nerf some parts of it.
Now, it looks like they're probably going to go for having that Udyr push a lane out while the team fights and keeps Team NovaCore locked down and engaged into the fight. Hoping to push those other lanes to get that victory.
Exactly. It's going to be interesting to see if they're actually going to be able to team fight without the Udyr. If they're able to get ahead in the early game and continue that into a late game lead, they may be able to pull that sort of stuff off. But judging from last game, Team MG NovaCore is extremely dominant in the early game. A little bit more so than Galaxy, I'd say. We're going to get the Gangplank and Alistar locks in. And looks like Anivia is going to be picked on the other side. And Caitlyn actually going to be hovered. Now, Caitlyn's an interesting pick right now because she's very late game dependent, but is quite a good early game.
What they're going for with the Caitlyn pick is to give her some range, because this is going to be a really frontline heavy engaged team that they're facing. So if you can keep Caitlyn away, she can do her damage, poke them down, get their hits where she can, and still be safe.
Exactly, and we see that being set up. That's the Caitlyn lock-in. Like I said, we see that being set up. The Udyr frontline. Tank Gnar frontline as well. Looks like Zed's going to be hovered, and Talia actually going to be considered here. Victor as well. Now, all three of these are pretty good champions at the moment. Talia's actually not the greatest mid laner I've seen. Okay, but that's the maybe possible Twisted Fate ADC. We could be seeing that coming out. I don't know, but that's going to be Sivir being locked in and Zed as well. What do you think they're trying to accomplish? What do you think NovaCore is trying to accomplish here with this team comp?
Alright, you're looking at a team that has hard engages with that Alistair. He's able to bounce around, knock someone away that's out of position or getting too close. You have Gragas in the jungle, which he can throw the barrel before he gets into a lane to help that gank, push him under turret or away. You have that global ult with Gangplank, so he's able to assist everywhere, and the teleport. Now, with the Zed, he's able to close in. Once again, it's another champion that can go around that wall and basically not be affected by the Anivia. And with Sivir, she can either help the whole team escape or engage. Like, it's one way or the other with Team NovaCore. Whereas Team Galaxy is trying to make a nice front line to combat everyone. Hopefully waiting around to give him his Meganar.
Exactly. I've heard before that Sivir's one of the best solo queue ADCs because of her ulti. When she pops that ulti, everyone knows to go in. Everyone knows that it's engage time. So once she pops that ulti, TMG NovaCore is going to have a little bit of an opportunity to get onto that backline. They're going to be trying. This Alistar is going to be trying to use that increase in movement speed to try and just absolutely get onto this Caitlyn, because she's going to be in the backline. She's going to be dishing out so much damage. It's going to be hard for NovaCore to deal with it.
Now all they have to do is focus on disrupting the plays with Team Galaxy. With Thresh being able to slow down, hook down, flay them back, keep them off of Caitlyn. If someone does get by, you have your Udyr where he can turn into his bear stance, stop them in their tracks, get some extra damage on there. And hopefully, Gnar will be able to get his Mega Gnar, use his ult, slam the whole team against the wall. And that's just another moment of being stunned. Plus being slowed by the Anivia ult on the ground. That's just damage in the whole area.
Now I like how TMG NovaCore has formulated their team around trying to get into the backline. We see Gragas. He's going to be able to jump in. He's going to be able to use his ulti to try and, like you said, disrupt the backline of Galaxy. We have Gangplank as well. He's going to be able to use his ulti. Let's see, we have Zed going to be able to jump in there, use his W to get in there, possibly get onto the Caitlyn, and there's nothing that Galaxy can really do about that except for maybe a well-timed Thresh hook. And again, we also have the engage from Sivir and the engage from Alistar.
They're going to have to designate someone just to be on Caitlyn to cover her for those team fights. Because they're going to need someone to always be mindful of where Zed is. Because you can have your Udyr protecting her, while the Thresh is manipulating the rest of the team. Slowing him down with his ult, throwing those hooks, like I said. And then if Zed does come in, trying to use his ult onto Caitlyn, Udyr could just hit him and stun him with that bear stance.
Exactly, but see, the thing is with this Sivir pick, she does have the spell shield, but there is a lot of CC that she's going to be trying to spell shield on Galaxy's side. You have the Gnar ulti, the Udyr even to some extent with his stun. You have the Anivia stun as well. The Caitlyn not so much, but the Thresh hook is also there. So there's lots of CC that she has to use her spell shield on, and it's going to be interesting to see how she's able to decide which ability she needs to spell shield. Well, it looks like we're loading onto the rift right now.
Now we'll see if their way of playing changes. If they're all going to do this all-in teleports at bot, are they going to try to spread it out, having a 4 and then one person pushing a side lane for Team Galaxy?
Yeah, now that's something we saw twice last game, was those double teleports going in bot lane. So it looks like bot lane was the focus for last game, and we'll try and see if bot lane is also the focus for this game as well.
Team Galaxy does have the double teleport on that Anivia and that Gnar. So they can try to fake and bait out one with one of them to get Gangplank to join at bottom or join somewhere else and have that cancel. And then we'll leave them down there to either defend and pull them in towards their tower.
That is very true, and even though Anivia has that teleport, Zed's also going to be looking to roam towards the bot lane. Now, Zed is one of the very classical, typical roaming champions where he's going to be trying to roam either top or bot lane and try and get these kills, try and use his ulti once he gets level 6, using that mobility he has to get into lane fast, try and take out either Caitlyn or this Gnar, and just try and snowball the game in general. Now, just to recap, we have TMG NovaCore on the blue side versus Galaxy eSports on the red side. We have Gangplank in the top lane, Gragas in the jungle, Zed in the mid lane, Sivir as the AD carry, and Alistar as the support for NovaCore. And we also have Gnar in the top, Udyr for the jungler, Anivia in the mid, Caitlyn as the AD carry, and Thresh as the support on Team Galaxy Esports. We'll just have to see who comes out on top in the second game of TMG's series.
I'm actually hoping to see maybe they'll do that double teleport off of Thresh's lantern to get that Ghostbuster effect behind the lines.
Yeah, that amazing Thresh lantern teleport, just like the teleport last game onto the Zac blobs.
I mean, they'll have to coordinate their attacks.
This is true. We're just trying to get this Gnar to load in now. This is some expert commentary right here. We're going to be casting Gnar's percentage as it goes up. It's currently stuck on 67. Could possibly be seeing some increase as it does go up to 100%. There we go, boys. I think I was a little too hype for his percentage, maybe. I don't know.
Nothing wrong with some enthusiasm.
I like it. Alright, looks like we're going to be loading on in just a few seconds. Again, the second game went to NovaCore the first game, so if they win this, they win the best of 3, but if Team Galaxy is able to pull out a win, it will be going to 3 games, so we are on to the Rift right now. Let's see, I've been talking about these lane swaps. I want to see a lane swap happen. I don't really know if it's going to, but I would enjoy seeing an actual lane swap. That would be interesting to see. Looks like we're just going to be headed for, again, standard lanes. Both teams trying to control their sides of the map with these wards. Zed actually able to see the ward being placed down. Alistar tries to knock up the Thresh, but isn't actually able to land that, so he was warded out, but Thresh is able to get that ward in blue side's jungle. Right there. Greg is actually going to ward his own red buff, and that's interesting because that means he's predicting an invade. So we'll just have to see how that goes out. Zed trying to find a Gnar, but Gnar was in that bush, but was too far away for the Q to land. Doesn't actually find anything there.
Thresh is sitting over here on this ward.
Oh yeah, Thresh is on that ward. Nothing actually gonna happen to him. He's just gonna see it die, know that he was on it, And he's just gonna be sitting there? No, he's gonna walk in. He's gonna go on a little bit of a roam here. Let's check out what he is doing here. He's actually sitting on a ward right now. Tries to land the hook, but isn't able to find anything. Alistar is there. And just to push him out. Thresh just trying to harass at this point. Didn't really expect to get anything, but if he had, it would have been a pleasant surprise.
They're just trying to escort each other back to lane. A little friendly competition.
And just like last game, we're already off to pretty substantial CS leads pretty early in the game. I mean, it's nothing really big, only 2 minutes in, but still we have Zed being 4 CS above Anivia. And minions have only been around for a few seconds, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Other lanes are actually pretty even, except for bot lane, where Caitlyn does have 8 and Sivir only has 2. Both junglers trying to get this Cuddle Crab. It goes over to Gragas. Did he smite that? No, he didn't, so he just got it. He's actually going to be forced to back, though. That's kind of a delay on his jungle route. Now Thresh going in. Caitlyn, Q completely misses. I don't know where that was going, but she's able to auto-attack Sivir very low here. Now let's see, just standard lanes so far. No one's really coming in for a gank, but Gragas is actually further along than Udyr is, and he was forced to back as well.
That Scuttle Scrab. Now, this Ocean Tricks is going to be very important this game, because there's going to be some extra sustain, allowing them to stay in lane longer.
Exactly, and they did change Ocean Dragon quite recently, where it is only out of combat sustain, but Udyr's actually going to gank, and Zed actually forced a flash out of there. He did have his E available, or his W available, I'm sorry. But he did still have to use that flash, so that's an important summoner down for Zed right there.
Gragas looks like he's trying to come in from...
Let's take a look at this. That's actually not warded out, so they have vision of this Udyr, but Galaxy does not have vision. Actually, now they do. Udyr just gonna find him, slap him up a little bit. And I completely forgot about this, but Sivir, the perfect counter to Caitlyn. Caitlyn just putting down those traps. Actually, we're going to have a little bit of scuffle in mid lane. Udyr being taken very low, and that's going to be first blood for Zed. The Ignite was used. No summoners, I don't think. So yeah, Udyr didn't flash. He still has his summoners up. And the Sivir is actually able to perfectly spell shield that Thresh hook. Now, what is Zed getting that first blood going to mean for, let's see, Galaxy? Actually, never mind. We have a little bit more action top lane. That's going to be Gragas just taking down Gnar with his body slam. Wow. That was a lot of damage very quickly. Anyways.
We have a teleport used. Anivia went back into her lane, so we can't expect her to be invading another lane.
Okay, and what's that going to mean for how bot lane plays out?
Well, actually, both teleports have been used, so it's going to be another 3 minutes before we ever see them try to make that nice Thresh play, teleporting on his lantern.
Actually, Gnar going to be going in here. The third stack isn't going to find the flash out. Gnar does have his flash available. He does flash forward. That's going to be Dawson getting the kill onto Gangplank right there. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as well. Anyways, back to your point. I'm sorry about that.
both teleports. The only teleport that's still up is Gangplank's, so that they can make a play at bot lane, mid lane, and it looks like he's going to be using his to get back to lane.
Alrighty, well there you go. All teleports being used up, so that means that no pressure will be put on bot lane for a little bit. Unless a jungler decides to go down there. But a lot of damage coming out onto this Gnar. Gangplank uses his ulti, trying to kite him around. One more auto attack should do it, and that's going to be the kill onto Gnar. Meanwhile, a little bit of damage being taken in the bot lane. Sivir does spell shield, but it doesn't actually shield anything, and she's forced to heal. But Thresh gets knocked under the turret, and Kaylin flashes forward. That's going to be a double kill for Sivir because they both flashed into turret. Or no, Thresh got knocked in there. But Zed also just finding a kill onto Udyr as well. He's going to get a little bit of a 1v2 on him. Alrighty, well this is going in the favor of TMG already, so early into the game.
Now, it looks like they're going to use that to get for this dragon real quick. As the team has no teleports, they can't come in here to contest it.
It's actually warded out, so Galaxy does see this happening, but there's not really much they can do about it. Udyr actually just heading top because he knows that there's nothing that he can do at this point. And as if getting all those kills wasn't enough for TMG, they're able to actually get the dragon as well, which is going to only help them out in this early game. Zed uses his W forward, forces the Anivia flash out. It's going to be a nice little thing to have a little bit later when we may see another Gragas gank coming in. And so much damage being done by this Gangplank already. He only has a Sheen and a Longsword. He doesn't even have his Fade yet, but he's already doing massive amounts of damage. But the Udyr is going to come in, the gank, and the ulti is going to be used. Gets him into the wall, using that Grasp of the Undying to heal up, and that's going to be Udyr taking the kill on Gangplank. That's actually a very good pickup. They're putting this Gangplank behind and getting themselves ahead as well. Gangplank didn't actually have flash available in that fight, so there was nothing he could really do at that point.
Now we're getting our first completed item on Zed with the Maw of Mortis. You know, getting that extra shield against that Anivia in case he does get that low.
So how's that going to help him win his lane even harder?
It allows him to be on Anivia even longer, especially if she does ult and do everything perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. And him already having that item doesn't spell good news for Galaxy eSports, because when Zed gets ahead, the only thing you can really do is run and hide and play safe. You have to wait for your exhaust every time you want to fight him. You have to play everything perfectly, and we'll see if Galaxy's able to play against this Zed well. Zed actually going to be able to play very aggressively in this mid lane, but he's going to be walled out, taking a lot of damage there. The ulti goes down, but I think Anivia still has her egg up. It's going to pop, and it doesn't actually kill her. She did not have her egg up. I'm sorry.
She was left with 7 HP.
7 health. There you go. But because she was forced out by the Zed, Gragas and Gangplank are able to take this Rift Herald. Now tell me a little bit about Rift Herald, because I don't actually know that much about it. Actually, Gragas gonna find this Udyr, and Zed just comes in, picks up that kill. He is 3-0 already. Alistar goes in, gets the knock up onto Kaylin. So much damage being put down to her by those ricochets. And the hook does land. He's gonna flare. No, the spell shield comes out. She's Sivir is taking a lot of damage, but so is Caitlyn. The ulti from Caitlyn comes out, but it's blocked by Alistar. And the Gnar ulti comes in, he flashes forward, tries to get this kill, the Q will connect. There we go, that's Gnar taking down Gangplank solo in the top lane.
They've been trading back and forth at top lane.
Yeah, but Udyr was able to gank up there. Actually, this is going to be a Gnar teleport coming out. They're going to try and find these kills. And that's going to be the forced flash from Sivir. Caitlyn doesn't actually have her ulti. Thresh being taken very low. The flash body slam tries to come out from Gragas, but doesn't actually land. And Gangplank able to pick up the kill on Thresh from his ulti. Thresh was just way too low to be able to survive that.
Looks like they're going to try to...
I'm going to try and push that in, just accelerate that gold lead that they already have, which is 4K at this point. Now let's take a look at items real quick. We have Gnar already having completed his item. Granted, Gangplank's first item is very costly, that Triforce, but still, Gnar does have a significantly more gold than Gangplank at this point. And then in the mid lane, we also have Zed having completed his item, while Anivia still is trying to stack that tier, and she's actually going to be going for Roa. In the bot lane, Sivir has already completed her first item, while Caitlyn is... Oh no, she's only sitting on 150 gold, so she doesn't have enough for that Infinity Edge. So she's going to be forced to play a little bit safe in these next few minutes. The Thresh Hook does land onto Alistar, but they're not going to go in on that because they know how much CC Alistar has if you try and go in on him. Also, they don't really have the river warded up that well. Gragas going to be coming down here. Ward's going to be cleared. They're not going to see this Gragas coming in. Now I'm going to clear some wards as well. Possibly hoping to get a gank, but Udyr is down bot side. Gonna get stunned up. The Thresh Lantern over the wall. Saved the Udyr. And the Mountain Dragon is just gonna spawn up. It is alive right now. Let's see. Gragas coming in. Gonna try and get this Thresh kill, and the auto attack is gonna be coming down. Sivir gets the double kill onto Caitlyn because they were able to exhaust her under turret. And they just dived through. Alistar had to use his ulti, but came up big in the long run. Now, what does this mean for the game as a whole?
It means that Alistar is going to be free to go where and roam to help the other lanes with that Sivir on his side. He'll be able to control the fight. They'll also probably be able to get this next dragon.
Exactly, but Gnar can actually be going in on this Gangplank. He uses his orange a little bit late there. Could have oranged the stun, but nonetheless, he does have his ulti there. The Gnar gets the stun again, and one more auto should do it. There we go. That's going to be Gnar soloing him again in the top lane. Meanwhile, TMG actually been taking Dragon. Udyr gets the steal onto it, and this is going to be a fight right here. Sivir being taken very low. The Caitlyn ulti able to pick up the kill onto Sivir. Let's see. Gragas gets the kill onto Udyr, and Caitlyn in the backline just pounding in auto attack after auto attack into this Gragas, but he's going to be able to walk away. Not after the Gragas gets the kill onto Thresh, though. That's going to be a 2-for-2 over Dragon, but not really worth it for TMG because Galaxy was able to actually steal the drag. Gangplank forced to ulti the wave, but Gnar just pushing furiously, able to get this top lane turret. That's going to be a nice pickup for Galaxy eSports here.
with getting that mountain drink, this is going to help that Udyr build later on, as he's going to be able to melt down turrets if they don't pay attention to where he is, or force him to actually take part in team fights.
Let's see, Gangplank pushing in this turret. Tries to get it, but has to get caught out. Has to flash over the wall, actually. Now, still doing a lot of damage, so don't count him out just yet, but he is a little bit behind. Still very even in CS. All lanes, actually. Zed is actually 30, sorry, ahead of Anivia at this point, but not that much. When you take into consideration the gold lead, however, TMG actually not that far ahead, only 5k. It's not as big of a lead as we saw last game at 20 minutes. So there is still a very real chance of either team winning this game. Gnar actually going to be ganked by the Gragas. He's taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Zed goes in onto Caitlyn in the bot lane. He ulties her, and that just absolutely obliterates her. Gnar flashes over the wall in top lane, but Gragas flashes after him and is able to auto-attack him to death. That's going to be, let's see, a 0 for 2. The Thresh Hook lands, but without turret there, or without the turret aggro, it's not going to take much damage. And this Sivir is getting those spell shields down. Now Udyr in the bot lane doing a lot of damage to Zed. He's going to actually fall. Anivia Egg is popped, bumped out a turret by Alistar, and that's going to be Sivir picking up the kill onto Anivia in the mid lane. Looks like they're going to pressure this turret.
Now with that last play, Sivir acted as bait, whereas Anivia was pulled in to try to get that fight, to get that kill. Gragas came in from the side to try and disrupt her and push her back in, but it was enough to keep her there so that Sivir can get that to proc her passive.
Exactly.
Then Alistar came in from behind, all the way going through the blue side jungle.
Meanwhile, top lane, there's a little bit of action. They're going to dive under turret onto this Gnar. He's going to have his rage up. Can he ulti? He gets a 2-man ulti, but isn't really enough. He's able to actually pick up the kill on the Gangplank, but unfortunately 4 members up top mean that he's going to be taken down as well. Meanwhile, TMG diving this Thresh, and Udyr is actually on the back lines. Anivia picks up the kill onto Gragas, and the Sivir spell shields the Caitlyn ulti, but isn't enough. She's actually going to be taken down, and that is a 1 for 4 in favor of Galaxy Esports here.
Now whenever you're attacked and you're outnumbered, if you're able to get 1 kill, that's amazing. I mean, that was a 1v4.
True, but Zed looking like he's going to die this Anivia. She doesn't actually have her egg up, but he's taking a lot of damage, and he's going to get killed under the turret by Anivia. Now talk to me about this Anivia pick, because she has been seeing a lot more play recently.
With her ult, you can control a fight to stay on that. That means everyone's taking damage, they're slow to react, they can't move around, especially if they don't have any mobility. So your team is able to focus on whoever's closer, whittle them down. Looks like they're trying to get
Gosh, and the hook is going to land. He's going to go in, actually, but forced to flash out immediately after. The Anivia stun does not land, and that's another part of Anivia's kit that is very, it's not really talked about that much, but it does increase a team's ability to pick out a champion because it does so much damage. It's actually AoE. It's very hard to land it onto multiple targets, but it still is AoE, so it creates also a team fight component as well.
Now it looks like both teams are going to try to set up to get this next dragon.
The next dragon being a stone dragon, or an earth dragon, I'm sorry. So that would be the second one of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Ward's going to be cleared. Both teams trying to deny this vision. Nar actually just going to jump straight back over after being knocked out by Ali. He's actually looking to do a lot of damage now. Now this frozen mallet pick is an interesting one. Normally we see a Nar going like a black cleaver, or if he's against an AP champion, he'll go a Ma sometimes. Now what do you think would have inspired him to build this frozen mallet right now?
Looks like they're going to take.
Yeah, looks like TMG actually just gonna brute force this dragon. There we go. That's gonna be the second dragon for them, third dragon of the game. Things being put out, trying to protect their turrets at this point, because they know that TMG has the ability to take down turrets, and they do have that team fight. So that could be a potential downfall. However, Galaxy actually pulling through in this game.
Alright, to get to on your point about that Frozen Mallet and Gnar, it helps him be able to get his passive off of his W with the 3 stacks, as it slows him down, keeps him in range, and he's able to get that lovely percentage damage of around like 14%.
True, very true, and because of the way that TMG's team is set up, they're also going to be looking to kite them back, trying to get them away from the carries at this point, and that Frozen Mallet can only help. And it also shows up in his build again when he builds the Randuin's Omen. That's also an item that's going to help them kite back, going to help them get their carries, doing that damage onto the front and back line of TMG at this point. The Thresh Hook lands on the Gragas. He's just going to stand there and take a few turret shots in the process, clearing out these traps from Caitlyn. He's actually taking down the half health, I'm sorry. Full health. They're just going to walk away at this point. Both teams pretty even. If they were to fight, I feel as though it would go in the favor of Galaxy at this point. But that doesn't show up in the gold lead, which is interesting. Zed ulti gonna go down onto the Anivia. Anivia trying to 1v1 him. She does have the egg up. Kaylin ulti gonna find his target. Kills the Zed. Able to pick up that kill. 3 players on him. Trying to stop his split push. Now Gnar a little bit caught out here, but able to grab that lantern. Able to get away. Just trying to get some poke onto the team before they're forced to fight. Now the Thresh Hook goes a little long, but putting this sense of fear into TMG at this point. Now the ulti from Gnar doesn't find any target, and the Gragas ulti, TMG is going to try and re-engage here. Gragas able to find the kill on the Thresh. Gangplank finds the kill on the Gnar, and that's going to be a double kill as Gangplank gets the kill onto Udyr as well. A lot of flashes being forced to be used. Caitlyn has to flash out because Gragas flashed forward, and looks like they're actually going to try and go for Baron at this point.
They're going to try to ward up as much as they can to prepare, because they have another 20 seconds before the rest of the team Galaxy's up.
And we'll just have to try and see if Anivia and Caitlyn are able to outplay this. They're doing a lot of damage. The Zed ulti goes over the wall, taking Caitlyn down. Actually, no, Gangplank just going to auto-attack that. Gets the kill. Zed going long for this Anivia. The Thresh Hook actually finds its target onto him. That's going to be Zed going down to Anivia, and Gangplank is being chased. Thresh flashes forward, but Gangplank puts down his barrels and gets the kill on the Anivia, but the rest of the team is there to shut down that Gangplank. Meanwhile, Greg is just taking Baron in the background. He's like, I don't want anything to do with you guys. I'm just gonna take Baron from me.
Now that's 2 people without the Baron buff. So that means that for the turret siege, they're going to have to either focus to stay around, because you know that with Sivir, Alistair's most likely going to be with him.
Now Thresh actually being caught out here. The Flay is going to find its target, but that's going to be Thresh going down in Udyr's in there as well, but guys are pros. So, let's see. TMG pushing in their lanes. Gonna actually get the kill onto the inner mid turret. So that's gonna put some pressure in terms of gold and in terms of map pressure as well. Now, Gregus didn't go that AP item that I was talking about earlier. He instead voted to go for the Cinderhulk item. And that's just showing you how much TMG wants to create this front line. The Gnar stun doesn't actually land, so that's down for a few seconds. Gragas gonna go in. The Sivir ulti is engaged. The Gnar ulti doesn't find any targets. And Sivir just on the back line. Alistar able to knock up this Udyr. The Thresh hook lands on the Sivir, but no one is there to capitalize. Thresh ulti able to capture Sivir in there. That's going to be Zed ulting on to Kaelin, but Sivir going to get the kill. And they're just going to dive this Gnar straight up. They're just walking after him. The ZQ takes him very low, and he's going to jump forward and try and get that. Meanwhile, top lane, Gangplank has just been pushing up there. And that's going to be mid inhib turret being taken down, as well as the mid inhib itself.
Now, with Team Galaxy down, they're able to clear the jungle and probably go for the next Drake, which is another Infernal.
Now let's see what ones they have so far. They have one Ocean Drake, one Mountain Drake, and this is looks like it's going to be another, or I'm sorry, a Fire Drake for them as well, which is just continuing the lead that they have. They do have a, let's see, 15k gold lead right there. I can't do mental math. Feels bad, man. But a 15k gold lead for TMG. Not the cleanest team fights we've seen in this series, but still, they're able to come out on top most every time. And both teams now just playing the deny vision game. See Anivia with that insane wave clear, just trying to clear out these super minions that are there. Now Zed top lane, ultis the Gnar, does a lot of damage to him. He does have that Duskblade pop, and oh my gosh, he just half-healthed him. There we go, that's going to be Zed taking down Gnar. Alistar engages onto the Thresh. Sivir in the backline, and Gragas is there as well. The Sivir ulti is popped, and Alistar is just using that frontline powers. Thresh forced to flash away, but the auto follows him. Sivir picks up the Thresh kill. Gragas uses his ulti on the Kaelin, and Sivir is there to pick up the double kill. There we go. Looks like they're going to roam bot lane, try and get this Udyr, try and catch him out. Gragas goes in, and Alistar, they're just diving this turret right now. Looks like they're going to get this turret as well.
Once again, that pincer strike from Alistair coming from behind the turret.
Exactly, just going to pop him forward, and they're going to be able to push the entire bot lane in as a result of that. Able to get this bot mid, or I mean, sorry, bot inhib turret. And it looks like they're just going to go for the game end right here. That's a Nivea egg popped. That's a Nivea being taken down. Zed ultis the Mega Gnar. The Gnar ulti does find some targets, but isn't able to actually stun anyone. Meanwhile, super minions just pounding on these turrets. And Zed's actually going to kill the Thresh under the fountain. That looks like it's going to be GG in favor of TMG Gaming, as they're just knocking on this Nexus right now. GG. There we go. A 2-0 series in favor of TMG. The picks that TMG was able to create in that game, the way that they were able to pull through, even though they didn't have the best early game, that was what won them the game right there.
Now those level 6 ults also help, allowing them to disrupt the team with the Alistair's ult being able to take those turret shots, the cast being thrown from Gragas, blowing the team apart, and then letting him focus on whoever was closest or most out of place. And of course, with that Sivir ult, so if someone was knocked out a little bit out of range, they were able to close in on him.
Yeah, exactly. The picks that they created were nasty, and even though that Galaxy had some good plays in there, they weren't able to continue the lead that they had. Again, they kept playing the same way. They kept playing aggressive and they didn't play to win.
They weren't given the option to. Anivi would follow where Zed was to help control what he could do. So if Zed went to the bot lane, Anivi would follow and kept him at bay.
Exactly, and it just didn't turn out well. Even though they were able to win some fights, they just could not continue that lead into the late game, and it showed. It really showed because TMG was able to win every late game fight all of the time. Well, anyways, that's going to be the 2-0 series for TMG taking down Team Galaxy Esports. We have another game up for you in a few minutes.
Alright, it was good with you. Make sure to follow.
Disconnected from server.